In this video, I'm gonna test over 50 secret illegal ways to build in LEGO that you probably never knew were possible. Anyway, let's go. Okay, now what's the entire point of LEGO? To build things, right? But what if I told you there's actually secret ways to build in LEGO that LEGO has never told anyone or never intended? Okay, for this first trick, you can take a plate and stick it between the studs on another plate. And this is illegal because if you do it enough times, the plate will literally bend. But there's different things you can build with this trick, like a ladder. Or you can build a house that looks like it's still being built. Dang, what LEGO set is bro building? You can also build police sirens. I also built a simple work table to put tools on. You can also build a waterfall like this one, where I'm able to put bubbles on the side. That way it looks like the water's actually flowing. And for my favorite hack, you can use this trick to build the walls of a house. That way you don't need to use so many bricks. You can also build a giant spoiler for a car. Okay, now if you've built a LEGO wall long enough, you'll notice that it can actually bend. So for these next illegal tricks, we're gonna try building crazy LEGO shapes. How about a triangle? Okay, here we go. Nope. Let's try that one more time. Oh my gosh, no way. Yes! This is a normal LEGO square, but what if we added an extra side to it and turned it into a pentagon? Nice. This is actually so satisfying. Now, what's the whole point of a LEGO piece? To be connected to something, right? But what if we were savage and didn't do that? So for this next trick, it's taking LEGO pieces and not connecting them all the way. Now, this is actually really strapped because you can use this to do some really cool things. Like, I built an archway for a gate. I also used this trick to build a curved wall for a garden. Or just for fun, you can build your very own LEGO circle. Wow, that was actually so satisfying. For these next illegal tricks, we're gonna find ways to put LEGO pieces on the opposite way. This first method uses 2 flower pieces. They fit perfectly between 2 bricks. You can make 2 plates face the opposite way if you shove 2 coin pieces between them. For this method, I'm connecting 2 plates using the stick on a lever piece. You can also use Technic pieces, like these pins, or this longer axle that can connect 2 1x1 pieces. For this method, I'm using 2 tiny slopes, and for this method, I'm using 2 panels and I'm squeezing them between the studs on a plate. And for my favorite method, I'm using 2 glass window panels. And these tricks are actually really helpful. Like, I used them to build a round bathtub for a minifig, and I also made this modern looking table. For this next trick, you can take a plate with a clip and it actually fits inside of a round plate. So if you keep doing this on every corner, it has an interesting shape. So now I can use this as a ninja star. I also used it to build a LEGO drone. For this next illegal trick, you can put a tile piece inside of another tile. I took these tiles that look like triangles and I built a very fancy abstract piece of art that looks like something that could go in a museum and sell for millions of dollars. Also, it looks like a Fortnite build battle. I used this trick to build a towel and make it look like it's hanging off a table. I also made this small bench and I also put them on the bottom of this chair for legs. Okay, there's a lot of secret illegal tricks you can do with plants. For this first illegal trick, you can take leaf pieces and overlap them with each other. And this trick is very satisfying, so if you do it enough times, you can make a giant pine tree. If you take a default LEGO bush and shove pieces into it, it looks like there's fruit growing on it. If you take a LEGO gear, you can put a plant inside of it and it turns into a pot. Or if you have a LEGO horn like this, you'll notice that the tip is very thin. So thin, you can actually put it in the tiny tube underneath a plate. Now it's been turned into a tiny looking plant. If you take a LEGO brick, you can actually flip it upside down and you can fill in the empty spaces with plants. If you break off the bottom piece of this lever, you can attach it to a flower and now it makes the flower look bigger. Okay, this next trick is extremely illegal because if you have scissors, you can cut the tiny leaf pieces off of this piece. You can use it as a cool decoration for a hat, or you can put it on the bottom of a plate and it kind of looks like a small sailboat. For this next illegal trick, you can put a clip piece inside of a clip. So if you have a palm tree leaf, you can actually stand it up and it turns into a bush. For these next illegal tricks, we're gonna look at things you can do with car tires. If you have small tires, a stud actually fits perfectly inside of it. So if you attach this to the end of a bar, your minifig is now a gym bro because it looks like a giant weight. If you have a larger tire piece, it actually fits perfectly around a 2x2 round brick. So it makes a really cool looking pot for a plant. You can also use this trick to build a giant speaker for a party. If you want to turn a sword into a lightsaber, all you need to do is take some transparent bricks and put them over the blade. Now you have the at-home version of a lightsaber. If you put a sword between the leg and torso piece of a minifig, it actually looks like the sword is going through him. You can also put a sword through the ribcage of a skeleton to to make it look like this guy died in battle. And for this next illegal trick, this one's actually really satisfying, but you can put a sword inside of a round brick, and it makes an interesting display item. For this next illegal trick, you can take any transparent bricks, and you can use them as display cases to put tiny Lego items that fit inside. You can display ancient weapons, guns, a tiny ring, or a rare Charizard Pokemon card. If you have a satellite dish, you can turn it into a different type of dish. So simply flip it upside down, and it becomes a dish for food. If you flip a white stud upside down and place it on top of a coffee mug, it looks like there's a drink with cream in it. This next trick is very illegal, because if you remove the helmet off a Lego Stormtrooper and place it upside down, it turns into a toilet. Definitely wouldn't want to put the helmet back on my head. This is a Lego coin piece, and it's super weird because there's literally no way to connect it to anything. But I discovered if you take two of them, it actually fits in the hand of a minifig. If you take the arm off a skeleton, you can use it to build a lamp. This is a Lego whip piece, and there's a small spot on the tip to connect things, so if you put a fish on it, it's now turned into a fishing rod. For this next illegal trick, you can take the handle off a bucket, and you can shove it into a 1x2 brick, and now it becomes a luxurious looking handbag, or you can use it for a drawer handle. For this next secret trick, if you take a rollerblade, you'll find that the tiny wheels can actually connect to things. So I built this tiny looking robot. If you have a Lego torch piece like this, you can flip it upside down and use it as a tripod for a camera. Or if you have a tiny bar piece, you can use it as one of those smaller tripods that vloggers always use. Okay, fun fact, but a Lego brick and a plate fit perfectly on the front of a minifig hand. So using that trick, I built a simple shield using basic parts. Also, if you remove the legs off a minifig, you can replace one leg with a square brick, another with a round brick, and just like that, that's the DIY way of building a Lego pirate leg. Okay, now when you buy a Lego Harry Potter set, they give you these wands, but they come together in this interesting looking mold. But don't remove them yet, because you can use them for some interesting builds. Like you can use it to build the back of a chair. If you have an instruction booklet you don't need, you can rip off some of the paper, crumple it, and use it as realistic looking trash. Oh wait, is that sacred? Oh, never mind, sorry. If you look at the bottom of a plate, you'll notice tiny holes, but you can still fit pieces inside of them like flames. So I built this small fire pit. This is a Lego window that looks like it's made from wood. It almost looks like a chopping board or a tray to serve food. If you have a larger window piece like this one, you can turn it into one of those futuristic computers you see from the movies. There's a lot of secret tricks you can do with minifig parts. Like if you detach a minifig's legs, you'll notice they have an interesting shape, so I use them to build the armrest of a couch. Minifig hands are another very useful piece. Like I used one to build the faucet of a sink. If you clip a hand to a small plate, it looks like a walkie-talkie. Or you can attach hands on a pole, and it turns into a working hat rack that can actually hang hats. Or you can use it to connect two pieces together, like a diamond on the end of a staff. And for these last illegal building tricks, there's a lot of things you can do with food, like ice cream. Now, ice cream can actually stack on top of each other, so you can use ice cream to add smoke to a build, like the smoke coming out of this train. Or if you put a round brick on top, it can move around in different directions, so I used two ice cream pieces to make these palm trees lean over like they're being blown in the wind. If you have a chicken egg, you can flip it upside down, put a small plant piece inside, and the egg has turned into a pot. And these last few tricks involve a hot dog, and I actually thought of a lot of them, like building the stand of a television. I also used a hot dog to build a lamp, those rope barriers that you see in a museum. And for this final trick, I discovered that the tip of a hot dog can fit on the bottom of a plate, so I used it to build this relaxing bench you'd find in a park. Wow, after all those illegal tricks, the cops have pulled up and we have a 5-star wanted level. Subscribe or your next haircut will look like this. Thanks for watching, see you in the next one.
On my mini face, put your place against up in the air. We be cruising to the city.